The whole universe has come to an end before the butterfly could reopen its eyes. It was before nightfall when the butterfly fell asleep in its chrysalis. It woke up in its dream and realized he is a man named Zhuangzi, the Chinese philosopher that lived around 2,000 years ago. Zhuangzi stood in his garden. It is a garden that is made up of only right angles. The land extends infinitely as a horizontal line. People, trees, and buildings are vertical lines. Naturally, Zhuangzi only knows of squares and rectangles. However, at the top corner of his eye, he can always see a curvature. That curvature belonged to the moon and the sun. But it doesn't matter which way he turned, the sun and the moon remained stuck at the top corners of his eyes. Day after day, Zhuangzi dreams of tracing the curvature of the stars with his hands and of the unimaginable shapes that they could make when pieced together. After 1 year, driven feverish by curiosity, Zhuangzi grabbed the gun from his desk, marched into the garden, and aimed it at the sun. After a few minutes, he pulled the trigger. The sun is starting to set outside the classroom when the coin landed on its head for 90 times in a roll. The children are starting to feel uneasy as they watch the coin get tossed for the 95th time. Intuition tells them what is happening is very unnatural, but none of them can articulate exactly what is wrong. So they continued tossing. Dusty lives by himself in the Canadian mountains. His dog, Frosty, passed away around a month ago. Dusty is convinced that Frosty turned into the blue yoga ball after he died. He's been petting the yoga ball ever since. Dusty knows at any moment the yoga ball is going to start barking and ask to go outside. Last night, I was jogging in the park around 110th Street and Amsterdam. It was before nightfall when I bumped into the cow. He was overheating from the jog, so we sat on the bench to rest. He reached behind his ear to unzip his jacket. I did the same, but the cow looked at me with surprise. So I stared back at him. With his clothes off, I can see his intestines, heart, and kidneys. He took out liver and bumped it against mine. The cow cracked the biggest smile and yelled, "Twinsies!" A few blocks down the road on 125th Street, the scientists are trying to build the most powerful bomb in the world. The project would be finished in 1 week, and the first test is scheduled at 1 hour immediately after its compilation. At the Zoo of Metaphysical Beasts in San Francisco, the most feared animals of this world are holding a meeting. They are in a heated debate about which one of these events is going to break the law of the world and bring an end to the universe. From left to right, we've got Laplace's demon, the embodiment of scientific determinism. This beast knows of the position of every atom across the universe, as well as every physical law that governs the world. With computational power faster than the speed of light, the past, present, and future is available at once to its eyes. Up next, we've got Maxwell's demon. It possesses the power to transcend the second law of thermodynamics. It can reverse every physical event at leisure. As the most powerful warrior against entropy, this beast can take the entire universe back to the moment it was born. Last but not least, we have the Buttercat. It is said when a piece of toast falls from a high place, it would always land face down on the buttered side. It is also said when a cat falls from a high place, it would land on its feet. The butter cat is the powerful cat with a piece of toast strapped on its back, buttered side up. So when the butter cat falls from a place, it would spin just above the ground, as the universe does not know which way it should land. This infinite spin can generate infinite power. The debate continued on for close to 1 millennia now. The beasts have finally agreed that the barking yoga ball would likely be the event that ends the world. Zhuangzi's bullet travelled up for a long while. After grazing the soft belly of a migrant bird, it started to descend back down into the garden, never reaching the stars. Outside the classroom, the moon has replaced the sun. To the children's surprise, the coin has landed on its head for the 100th time. At last, Dusty's yoga ball did not bark. Instead, it ran outside. Dusty went after the ball, and they took a nice long stroll in the mountains. The cow and I sat on the bark bench and pulled out every single one of our organs to see if they matched. The park got chilly after the sun went down, so we put our jackets back on and went home for dinner. After working tirelessly for a week, the scientists of 125th Street had finally completed the project. They ran the first test at the scheduled hour. It was a perfect success. After pulling the trigger, Zhuangzi stood in his garden, not moving a muscle as he waited to touch the stars. Little did know, in the garden of right angles, the bullet can only travel directly up or down. After reaching maximum velocity, the bullet returned to Zhuangzi and killed him. No one at the National Metaphysical Zoo saw this coming. The world ended as the butterfly woke up from its dream. It realized it was neither a man or a butterfly, but a caterpillar.